It was all good just a week ago. I wonder how Stefan Diggs feel about this.
Hey, sorry, New England. I know it's tough to lose. Well, actually, I don't. But just because you lost the game doesn't mean you have to lose the beef. Because DoorDash is giving your city, only your city, 50% off. Seriously. Enjoy. That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
50 Cent even went so far to even say, damn, losing the Super Bowl and Cardi at the same time. Talking about coming for the jugular while it's still fresh. Like I can't make this shit up. Like it was all good just a week ago. Like it's all over the internet right now. 50 Cent trolls Stefan Diggs. I couldn't even be in this man's shoes right now. Count me out. Now, one source reports that Cardi B and them split up probably last week and that she's going to focus on her tour that's upcoming. But in other news, I guess there's no Disneyland for Diggs and another Super Bowl loss to his record. There's trouble in Love Land already, goddamn. So the Patriots lose the Super Bowl and Cardi B and Stefan Diggs decide to unfollow each other. People was already able to tell something was wrong by the way she responded to this.
Inspired message for Stefan before the game. One inspired message for him.
Good luck.
Yeah, something didn't seem too right about that. But to top it off, his first baby mama with his child was at the game. And you say, count me out. There was even rumors speculating that Cardi B left right after the halftime show. Didn't even bother to stick around to watch this motherfucker lose. Seems like every time she cheered him on, he won. But at the big game, he lost.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Now you hear some people speculating that the reason why she left him is because he lost the Super Bowl. But if she exited before the game was even over, then how would she know? The unfollowing on social media seems like this is over. Maybe he should have made better decisions. Then just maybe this wouldn't have happened. So today was the battle of halftime shows. Turning Point USA got up to 6 million viewers. Meanwhile, the Super Bowl halftime show racked in 127 million viewers. So which halftime show did you watch? Which, by the way, Kid Rock halftime show got hit with backlash. It reignited controversy over past lyrics referring to underage girls and a resurfaced drunken rant. Or did you tune into Bad Bunny's halftime show? Many stars came out to watch the Super Bowl, and some was even in the halftime show. Most people that didn't watch Bad Bunny couldn't understand Espanol. Because most of these people just complaining because they didn't understand it. Other people said that it was just boring. Or they watched some other shit. And I'm just going to say for the ones that didn't enjoy it, that's because you couldn't understand it. There was definitely a message hidden in this halftime performance. And if you're confused about what that message is, I'm sure someone will explain it to you. Bad Bunny's halftime performance racked in 135 million viewers, making it #1 passing Kendrick Lamar. But we already knew Diaper Don had something to say. He claims that the Super Bowl halftime show was absolutely terrible, stating that it was one of the worst ever and it makes no sense. He goes on to say that nobody understands a word this guy is saying and that the dancing was disgusting. He claims that the Super Bowl halftime show was a slap in the face of the country, but then goes on to talk about how booming the stock market is. Now, he claims the only good reviews that the Super Bowl will receive is from the fake news, but then goes on to say that the NFL needs to change the new kicking rule, as if he doesn't have better things to complain about. This Super Bowl halftime performance was about bringing unity, which this nation definitely needs at this current time. What else is Diaper Don gonna complain about now that the Super Bowl is over? I'm pretty sure this motherfucker got a list of shit that makes no sense. If you missed the Super Bowl halftime show because you was too busy looking at Turning Point, now if you didn't understand none of that, go get you a translator. A lot of people out there was against him performing at the halftime show, probably because some of them didn't speak Spanish. It's always good to see something different, even when you don't want to. If you didn't get excited for that, then maybe you'll get excited for the second half. Because it's definitely been a boring ass first half. If you liked the Super Bowl halftime show, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know. Everybody acting surprised that Pam Bondi responded the way she did when she was in front of the Epstein survivors.
Attorney General Bondi, you apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through?
Of course this motherfucker ain't gonna turn around and apologize to them. I knew it and you knew it.
Chairman, the gentlelady's reclaimed
I'm not
her
going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
Thank you. You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say
I'll
this.
direct it to
What a
you.
massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is
I'm not
interrupted.
going to get in the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's doing
time.
theatrics.
At this point, I don't think anybody likes Pam Bondi. Why isn't her job in jeopardy? It's clear she don't give a damn about the survivors. And if you can't see that, then why didn't she apologize to them when they were standing right behind her? She wouldn't answer the question, and she kept deflecting everything that was thrown at her. As I stated before, I didn't expect anything less. Tumbler Ridge, a remote community in British Columbia, experienced a mass shooting today, as multiple news outlets are reporting on this terrible tragedy. Some news outlets are reporting that 9 people have been killed, but as of 45 minutes ago, the count has rose to 10. Now, the police are saying they responded to a call at 1:20 p.m. local time. Officers found 6 people dead in the high school. Another 2 people died while being transported to the hospital. And 2 other people was found dead at a local residence, which the police do believe is connected to the shooting. This shooter killed 10 people, injuring 25 people before taking his own life. They claim that the shooter was found inside the school with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The superintendent declined to give any information about this suspect, and they also claim that they have not figured out the shooter's motive. Imagine having a mass shooting in an area where it's only 2,400 people living. Now, even though mass homicides is rare in Canada, this goes down as one of the worst mass shootings ever. I know this motherfucker didn't say this.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump? All of you. I find it interesting that she keeps going after President Trump, the greatest president in American history. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over 50,000.
Now this is what it sounds like when you pick your own team. Motherfuckers willing to look the other way. Talking about apologizing to President Trump. For what? The greatest president ever. Count me out. How did the Dow even come up in this situation? Yeah, this lady right here is a professional ass sniffer. Probably why Donald Trump wanted her on his team. She needs to be removed from her position immediately. As always, I would love to know how y'all feel about this situation. So these motherfuckers got a train that goes underneath water for 35 minutes? Count me out. So this motherfucker right here is the Eurostar train that goes from London to Paris underneath water in a tunnel for 35 minutes. You already know, count me out. Cause all I could think about is what if this boy just fill up with water and we in this boy, it's over with. You can't get out of there. You cannot bail. See you later, Casanova. Now I know it's a lot of motherfuckers that use this method daily to cut they commute in half. But for me, I take the motherfucking scenic route. It'll just be my luck that I get on one of these and before I know it, hell freezes over. This boy fills up with water and I can't get out. Count me out. If I'm not willing to do bridges, I'm definitely not willing to do trains underneath water for 35 minutes or more. Count me out. All I want to know is who was the motherfucker that came up with this idea to sacrifice people. All you need to know is count me out. So the Miami Zoo decided to build an underwater tunnel so you can view alligators and crocodiles. And you gotta be a special type of person to go through one of these tunnels, cause if that motherfucker starts to leak, lunch. Like you see how that crocodile acting? One false move and that situation has become extreme. Is there a weight limit for you to go through this motherfucker? What if the tube leaks? What if it shatters? What if him and his boys decide to come full speed at that tube to try to crack that motherfucker? All I'm gonna say is count me out. Like I don't understand why people want to risk their lives for something that's not worth it. Willing to meet they maker sooner rather than later. If this the type of adventure you looking for, go ahead and try it out. But remember, count me out. I'ma just say it right now. Count me out. When you think these motherfuckers couldn't have one up, they always do. So these motherfuckers then built the world's longest undersea highway tunnel. And not only that, but it's motherfucking see-through. I don't know what motherfucker came up with this concept, but it does not look safe. You see motherfucking hammerheads and sharks and all different type of shit swimming right over your head. It only took China 4 years to build this motherfucker. This motherfucking tunnel stretches 6 miles long and is 33 feet wide. But not to mention that, it features 6 lanes going both directions. What the fuck? But this motherfucking tunnel has stunned engineers worldwide, saying that this motherfucker was impossible to build. Not to mention this motherfucker could stand a 8 magnitude earthquake. But they also say this motherfucker could withstand a 16 magnitude typhoon. All I'm gonna say is you ain't gonna catch me on this motherfucker. Again, count me out. So you telling me these motherfuckers is building a bridge underneath water right now for cars to travel through? Count me out. Now this undersea tunnel for travel is going to be 27 kilometers long, almost 17 miles. And you expect for a motherfucker to trust somebody to stay underneath water in a tunnel that long? Who count your blessings? Couldn't be me. Now this motherfucking tunnel is supposed to cut a 11-hour trip into 35 minutes if you survive that motherfucker. Do you see how far them tunnels is underneath water? Ooh, wait. Norway is about to be the first of its kind. Whoever decides to travel through that tunnel once they finish that motherfucker, you're going to be one of a kind also. You're going to have a lot of trust to travel through a motherfucker. We're going to call those guinea pigs. But to cut a 11-hour trip just down to 35 minutes, I'm sure a lot of people going to risk it. But it couldn't be me. First, I was wondering, why did they make a bridge like a fucking roller coaster? Then I was like, maybe these motherfuckers trying to be different. Is this the reason why they called it the Sky Bridge? So it could be high in the sky and cruise ships pass underneath? Ooh, wait. What if one of those cruise ships too tall and it just rammed the shit out of that bridge? Again, you couldn't catch me on that motherfucker. And this is what that motherfucker look like when it's a hurricane? I think not. Now, for people that already live out there in the area, I totally understand that this is your only method of travel. You're used to this. But a motherfucker like me, I think not. If I can't see, I won't go. Even though it does look nice in the daytime, right? So as long as you see waves like this on the side of a bridge like that, you'll never see me going over it. What if one of them motherfuckers reach out and touch you and take you inside the water with it? Terrible conditions on this boy, but guess what? Count me out. The ones used to this, stay liquid. Let me just start off by saying, ain't no way in hell that I'm going across this thing. 24 miles? Fuck that.
The longest overwater bridge in the world. It's the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway.
Wouldn't be me.
It connects the New Orleans metro area to the north shore of the lake, saving some commuters up to 50 minutes of driving time.
Nope.
Opened back in 1956. It spans 23.8 miles and takes about 30 minutes to cross without...
Just start by saying, all you motherfuckers that travel across this motherfucker daily, you got it. What if a big ass tsunami touched down and just go woof right over this motherfucker? Those barriers ain't that high. Water can get on that bridge. And bridges just don't get along. You gotta have a lot of trust in one of these bridges. And if you break down on that motherfucker, beware. Gonna be a long journey before somebody come get your ass. 30 minutes, I believe. I mean, it ain't that high in the sky, but it's long as shit on the water. I even hear some parts of it goes underwater. Fuck that. You'll never catch me on this thing. Now, if you're wondering who he is, this is Igor Cabral, and is currently requesting to be held in solitary confinement. Now, this right here is Juliana Suarez. She was brutally beaten 61 times, punched in the face. He literally caused every bone on her face to shatter. Now, they stating allegedly he asked to check her phone, but she wouldn't let him, which led to him snatching her phone and throwing it in the water. Now, they left from the swimming pool area and got onto the elevator, and this where it transpired at. He asked her to get off the elevator, but she refused. He got mad, and then this shit transpired. Now, she already knew what was going to happen once she entered the apartment, so that's why she didn't want to get off the elevator. But that didn't stop this guy. But 61 times, he was either trying to take her life or he was trying to permanently disfigure her. Now, they say security personnel seen this happening on the camera, and they immediately rushed over to try to assist. People that do shit like this deserve to have the book thrown at their motherfucking ass. So Radioactive Wasp was found in South Carolina. If you're wondering where, at an old nuclear bombs facility. Now, officials say there's no immediate danger to worry about. But how can they come up with some shit like this when wasps tend to move around? And according to reports, the nest had radiation levels 10 times the legal amount that's allowed by federal regulations. Now, they claim that the workers sprayed the nest with insect killer. They removed the nest and disposed of the radioactive waste. They claim no wasp was found, but what about the motherfuckers that already flew away? But they claim it's nothing to be worried about. Now, they claim there's no leaks from waste tanks. But how did that wasp nest get contaminated? There definitely can be a possibility of more nests spread out since wasps tend to leave the nest. But again, there's nothing to worry about, they say. All I'm gonna say, if you see a wasp coming your way, run.